Hey, what's up guys? It's Ben 2000 Wajo, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and today guys, have I got a video for you. Stick around. Alright, so I got this interesting video idea from my pal Yusei YGO Pro, and he's been talking about, he doesn't like to do, as he describes, the talky talk videos like I do. So, I actually prefer to do, like, YGO replays with, like, a talky deck profiles in the end, but this is a viewer requested video, and I didn't have anything better to do, so here you go, guys. I'm going to give you guys 5 decks that I think deserve a Link boss monster. Now, before we get into this, we should probably define what a Link boss monster is, and that's probably, and the best examples of this are, I'm not going to say things like Kyrios or Rusty Bardiche of the Phantom Knights. I would say that these are things like Borolo Dragon or the Boral Dragons, you know what I mean, or Suryuja Skuldred. Link Force are our big boss monsters. So, and I'm gonna give you guys archetypes or decks that just don't have a Link 4 monster, for their specific archetype. Now, when I did this, I had to think, okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, I need decks that that actually can use Link monsters and keep going. So a lot of these decks are very spammy in their nature. Admittedly, but because I'm not sure if Konami was ever to create Link boss monsters for these decks. I don't want to just make assumptions about how how you would go into summoning them. So I was like, okay, well, let's just go with the spam ones, and then if you have to Link climb, you can do it, or if you have to use 4 monsters, you can do it. Either way. All right, so without further ado, deck number 1. Heroes. I know you guys are like, but wait, heroes already have Link monsters. You'd be right, they do, but they don't have a Link 4 boss monster, and that is something that I think would be an interesting idea. To be honest, the current hero Link monsters are kind of lackluster. They don't really do a lot. Like, the Link 3 is just an attack boost for himself. I don't think he boosts the other heroes, but I'm pretty sure it's just himself. And the Link 2 lets you, it can help you as far as like using mass change or polymerization and fusing under, but he doesn't have enough arrows for it to matter. So I think a Link 4, where if you were to take, if you found a way to get 4 heroes or a Link climb to him, you went 2, then you threw another hero out there, the next turn went 3, then you threw another hero out there, went 4. If you managed to Link climb into it or spam your heroes out enough, which it is possible, you basically could just essentially, you get to this Link 4 monster, and now you're probably thinking, like, what effect would I give him? The effect, obviously, because he's a boss monster, he's got to be decent, worth going into. I know that there's a lot of boss monsters out there that they're really not, but I feel like, for the modern era, he's got to be definitely better than the Link 3 hero. So I would say, I don't think that he should be a copy of another really good hero's effect, like, say, Contrast or Plasma, but, maybe something where he can recur multiple fusions, like, would it be kind of cool if you could, like, summon Absolute Zero from the graveyard, ignoring summoning conditions, because you currently can't do that, or a Mask hero. That would be a really good idea for a Link 4 hero, something they could actually use, to bring back, dead fusion heroes they can't normally summon. Coffee. I'm not biased for heroes or anything. Anyway, guys, deck number 2 on the list I'm gonna say is Magnet Warriors. I do have my cheat sheet over here. From what I've seen is the electromagnetic Magnet Warriors, I guess I should say. Anyway, the idea is Magnet Warriors, because I think it would be really, because they can spam the board, and I think that's a really cool idea there. As for what I would do to what I would imagine a link effect that would be very beneficial for this particular deck. They do have problems getting to their big boss monster and keeping him there. And if I recall correctly, their biggest boss monster is a negator, and Magnum, the superconductive battle bot. It's too wordy. The point that I want to make is this card is really hard to summon. So if I was to give the Magnet Warriors a Link monster that they could climb into that's Link 4, I would give him some ability maybe to summon this, but make some odd conditions, like, because he's a negator and I think that's really powerful, I wouldn't negate that effect upon that summon. Or what I would do is I would say, oh, you have to summon it in defense mode and it can't attack or change battle positions or something like that. Or I would say to the opposite effect, because he's a 4,000, I would say, oh, you can summon him, but he can't use his abilities. You know, I wouldn't, a Link 4 that could, like, special summon that guy out, and then, like, you know, ignoring summoning conditions or anything, because I'm not too familiar with that monster, to be honest. But, like, I feel like that would be really good. It's like either you're going to be in defense mode and negate stuff, or it could be in attack mode and just be a big beat stick. Like, that's how I would do the summoning condition. But whatever mode he is, and then he's stuck in. You know, that might seem maybe a little too fair, but I figured, you know, I want to make these decks playable, not broken. If that makes any sense. Alright, number 3 on my list is going to be gadgets. I'm probably making run in Cole 40's day right now, but I know they have a Link 2, and I think that's really cool, but I would really think it'd be interesting to see them spam out machine monsters, but they have to have gadgets in them, among them, in order to make the Link 4. That would be something I would like to see. I'm not sure exactly what effect would be best. Maybe some kind of defensive card, like, you know, like while this card's on the field, you know, gadgets can't be destroyed by battle or card effects or something. Kind of make it like a, you know, that Pendulum archetype, the wind one. They're all spellcasters. I can't remember their name. Kirin. Magispectors. That's it. Sorry, guys. I had to think about it. I'm still drinking my morning coffee while I make this video. You know, maybe that would be something he could do, or, you know, maybe have some kind of, like, maybe another really interesting effect would be, like, for this Link 4 to be like, oh, you can't get rid of me while there's other gadgets, and then, like, while those gadgets are there, you know, you can replace them constantly or something like that, kind of give them, like, a Yang Zing type of defense or something. Now, the flip side to that would be, like, you know, well, they have to have one weakness, like if they have to be destroyed by battle, card effect, or, you know, if they're banished. One of the three has to be the way to, you know, get around it, because, like I said, playable, not broken. Alright, number 2 on my list. This is the deck that, one of the decks that I really think deserves a Link monster, and it's because I am a fan of the Synchro archetypes. The Synchro era is actually my favorite era of Yu-Gi-Oh! I really like Yusei Fudo, I really like Jack Atlas. These are some of my favorite characters because 5D is like Yu-Gi-Oh! But he's a bit more mature than standard Yu-Gi-Oh! So Synchro era decks have always been kind of a soft spot for me. So that deck's going to be Sabers. You know, and I can hear the Kali effect over here going, ooh, yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's one of his decks that he's known for. The X-Saber deck is really good about spamming the board. They have really good, like, destruction-based abilities and summoning, and that's all really well and good. But you know what they don't have that I feel like they need something defensive, something that says, hey, no, stop doing what you think you're gonna do. You know what I mean? The X-Sabers need an X-Shield, so to speak. So I don't know exactly what kind of effect that would entail, but I think it would be kind of cool if they had their own, like, in-archetype negator. So, and it was a Link 4. It would be unique. It would help them get to their synchro plays, which is what they primarily want to do. And that would be the idea, is, like, to have some kind of, like, you know, stalling / negating effect so they could get those synchro monsters out. And lastly, this will probably be the most controversial one. I'm going to say normal monsters in general. Yes, I want to give normal monster decks, all of them, a generic Link 4. Why, you ask? So decks that primarily play normal monsters actually have a monster that is something that is going to benefit them. A lot of times you see decks that use normal monsters like Metaphors, Ignites, Phantasm Spirals, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, etc. All these different decks that use normal monsters, they don't do very well. So my idea here is, okay, well, let's give them a Link 4, and then that Link 4 puts normal monsters up here with the rest of them. And you know, I'm not sure exactly how they would do that. I mean, not every deck would obviously be able to use it, I'm sure, because it's a Link 4. You have to use 4 normal monsters or climb to it. And then it would have an effect that benefits normal monsters. But, you know, like, Scapegoat could be a primary way to get to it, as long as it's unbanned. For however long it's got. Fires of Doomsday would be the next best thing after that. But the point I want to make is that I think that the normal monsters need some kind of support, something that gives them the edge to keep up with the rest of the game. Because, like, I'm sorry, but like if you play a deck that hasn't a need to use a normal monster, like say Dark Magician or Blue Eyes, you inherently have a disadvantage because you have to main deck bricks for your deck to work. And I want a Link monster that could mitigate that, and I don't know what effect exactly that could be done. So I'm going to hand that off to you guys. So for this last one, in the comments below, I want you guys to tell me what kind of effect a Link 4 monster that is generic, that benefits normal monsters more than any other type of monster out there, what effect would that need to make normal monsters a viable deck? That's my challenge for my audience, for you guys, so you guys can, you know, maybe help me out. I mean, and I'm gonna, for this video, I'm gonna pin the best comment. I'm gonna read all of them, and I'm gonna pin the best comment to the top. So that's what I'm gonna do different for this video. Also, guys, I want to remind you guys, I'm still in a race with YGO Pro, the guy who suggested this video. So if you guys want to help me beat him in the race to 500 subscribers, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Ben 10,000 of YGO, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.